Yes. Hello and welcome to the Damm podcast, Season 3. In today's podcast, we have an extremely special guest, one that is extremely close to every member of the Damm, if I may say so myself.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, Shailinder Soekhai.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. First of all, how are you?
I'm feeling good today. I have new clothes. I'm with you guys. I'm very happy.
Well, new clothes. That seems oddly familiar.
Might be. We might talk about it. Maybe not. We'll see.
Maybe not. We'll see. But I've been thinking this whole entire time, how do I introduce someone of your caliber? So I've been thinking, let's start from the roots, right?
Yes.
So what is a similarity between every member of the staff and you? I would say that we all attended Erasmus University.
Yes, we did.
You attended IBA, if I'm
Yes,
correct?
International Business Administration, and all the way back in 2004. That's like a long time ago.
A long time. And that's the thing, like, have you always lived in the Netherlands?
Yeah, I've been born and raised here though. Amersfoort in '86, so I'm 34 years old. Ancient.
No, that's not ancient.
Well, yeah, '86, born and raised in Amersfoort. My parents are from Suriname. Came here just to make a living, change the surroundings, grab the chances and possibilities the Netherlands has to offer. And then I was born in '86. Grew up there in Amersfoort till 18th. Very good place to be there till you're 18 years old, in my opinion.
Okay.
And then I went to Rotterdam and fell in love with the city, actually.
And then you moved here immediately.
Yeah, I moved here, been around. I started in Kralingen, then to north, then to west. I've been around center, and now in Kralingen. So yeah.
So you've been living in Rotterdam for how long now?
So 16 years, 17 years.
What? Damn, that's as old as one of the members of our staff.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So, I mean, I already mentioned it, but you're very close to every single member of the Damm, right? Why? What made our, working together possible?
Well, there are a couple of things that are important to me that are hold to my personal values. Is that if you're passionate about something, but willing to work for it and execute on it, that's what I really like. And I put you through the ringer all at once. Maybe we could get to that in the future, but in the future in the conversation.
Yes.
But I tested you and on different occasions, and you did your work, and you're good at it as well.
That's up to the audience.
Well, if you like them, just please like, subscribe, do whatever. Do that, please. So you do your best. You want to go for the max with the equipment you have, with the creativity you have, and that's important to me because that's how you connect with people. Hopefully, people at home will see it as well. And as long as you keep on doing it, I believe people will be successful because that's the key.
I mean, I want to bring it back to like the first day when you and I met, which coincidentally is like 2 days before our main man Goy joined the production as well. So how was that day?
Well, a couple of weeks prior, a mutual friend of ours, he met you, and a former member of the team, and they said you said you want to do a podcast, and at the time I volunteered to be an advisor to the show. It's like, if you're really serious about it, let's explore it. I never built a podcast. I found you guys interesting, so why not? And someday, you both of you showed up.
Yeah.
And I was approaching you like everyone. I don't care if you're a student or you're a toddler or an adult. I'll approach you at the same time, of course, with the experience you have, I'll raise you, but I take you seriously. So I put you to a bit of extreme test though.
Yes.
So you had to do a pitch of something you were completely new at, and then redo it 7 times in a row.
I remember that.
So you have a pitch, a 3-minute pitch, then a 1.5-minute pitch, then a 30-second pitch, a 15-second pitch, to 1 sentence, redo it a couple of times, and you did it. How was that for you actually?
Well, I mean, I remember that day very clearly because I remember getting to the location and thinking, like, who am I going to meet? You know, like, I had no idea of who I was going to meet. And then I see you and I see another advisor of ours, and, like, I meet you guys, and then we start doing the pitch, let's say, right? But you said something very funny. You were like, okay, well, I just want a pitch of your idea. And I turned to my other friend and I was like, well, it's your idea. And he goes, yeah, but I don't know what it's about. So I sat there and I genuinely thought, okay, what would I want my production to be? And the first time around I came and I was like, yeah, this is it. This is a great idea. You shut me down, but you did it righteously because you were correct in saying like all the stuff that you said. There was some constructive criticism. And every time I entered the room again, it became like a clearer picture, a smaller picture, but one that was very useful for a production, right? Because I came with like the whole broad scope. I want to do anything, and
Of
you were like,
course.
okay, but one step at a time. And so the pitch got more solid over time. And then by the seventh time that I did the pitch, I was drained. But like you looked up to me and you were like, "That's good," and that was like, oh, I did it, you know. But like that's still, I still tell people this story as like one of the most important times because it didn't only teach me how to, you know, not sell an idea, sell a dream really, because it's not simply an idea. There's aspirations behind it. There's strength. So it's like, how do you sell that? And then you made me realize you're not really selling it. You're just like not even convincing others. You're just explaining why you're doing it. And if you really believe in it, people will do it as well.
Well, again, with it started off with a podcast, only audio. We're
Yes.
doing video right now, right?
And we did video on season 1 as well.
Yeah,
so
already.
There
So,
you go.
Yeah, but everyone has an idea, and especially podcasts, like 80,000 podcasts worldwide or something.
Yeah, probably more actually.
Yeah, with the COVID now. So everyone and his grandma can do a podcast, and are doing it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the main difference is execution. No matter what your idea is, you can talk about cats. I mean,
Yeah.
look at Instagram. Cats are still, after 10 years, the most prolific animals there.
Fun fact, I read this yesterday. There's more cats, domesticated cats in the US than dogs. Yeah.
Actually, there
Yeah.
are currently 850,000 active podcasts all over the world.
There you go,
Well,
almost
see,
a million.
See, I make mistakes. Almost.
No, but you were somewhere, like the point remains. There's a lot of podcasts in the world, and it's also like, it's not about standing out, but it's more about being yourself.
Yeah.
That's what you taught me over time.
Yes, because we meet together and we have a common interest, and this is making content. But other people are making content, are interesting content, consume content.
Mm-hmm.
So, with 7 billion people in the world, there is a demographic that's there for you,
Mm-hmm.
and you can hone your craft over time, of course.
Of course.
And again, you start off. You don't have a monetary goal in mind. You want to go for content, and that's what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
And then we'll see. You're still students. You're still starting off. First year. You're doing your 3rd season right now.
Yeah, in
How
1
cool is
year.
that?
That is pretty cool. I'm still stunned every day that we do a production. I think about it. I'm like, I mean, in the matter of 8 months,
Yeah, around that.
we almost quintupled the production value.
Yeah.
So that's pretty important. Like to me on a personal level, it's more like we can make a production that people can enjoy it full and partake in, and you know, it's like we're real people. You can come talk to us, and we help networking for real.
Yeah,
And that's
we
what
try
our
to
dream
be
was.
actually, and that's important to me. Just connect with other people. Build, how I put it, build bridges with other people, with other bubbles, with other networks, and yeah, you meet people have feelings. People have
Exactly.
aspirations. People have values, and you connect there. Who knows what can happen?
And if you have an open mind, you can help the majority.
I hope so. I really hope so.
That's the
Yeah.
best. I mean, I have one really interesting question that I never asked you. Who was the most interesting guest from your point of view of our entire production?
Wow.
All 3
You're
seasons.
putting me
plus
on the
adverts.
spot.
Yeah,
You're putting me on the
yeah.
spot right here, right?
I mean, there's a lot of people that, I mean, we all brought people of our network, but also people outside, LinkedIn, all of this. We
Yeah.
found our way around, right? But all of them were from such different backgrounds that if I had to choose one, I couldn't. Even if some of them are really close people to me, right? I
Yeah.
still couldn't.
Well, you know what a quintessential podcast is and I return to that episode every time I talk about the Damm Slap.
Mm-hmm.
Or if someone asks me, what is the Damm Slap? Why are you advising them? Or are you helping them? Why are you doing this? The Elon episode about DMT, about how he sees COVID, how he sees life actually.
Season 1, episode 2.
Yeah.
Yes, that's an important one because he doesn't have any social media.
Yeah.
He lives his own life. He doesn't talk about his struggles, but just his viewpoint in his life. And we just randomly met. We had a conversation,
Yeah.
and you guys made it work.
Yep.
You guys made it work. And then, okay, he's online. He doesn't have any social media, but he has a story, and that's what we try to do. People are in different bubbles with different friends, with their set amount of friends and professional network. And for some reason, you seem to find people from different bubbles, put them in a conversation, and then see how, give a different perspective of a world or of a worldview.
I mean, ultimately, that is the pitch that I always give to people. It's like the broader idea of our podcast is to end this idea of individualism, right?
Yeah.
So to end this isolationist mentality of, hey, I'm me and I'm special because I do this and I don't care about anyone else. But it's like through the podcast, personally, I learned that it doesn't really matter what you choose to believe in or what you choose to aspire to, because ultimately there's a door for everybody. You can always find your way.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And it's like, you're right, like Elon Ifra, for example, he is the embodiment of like a great conversation, because he wasn't there to prove anything.
No.
He went in there just to have a chat, and even if I have different beliefs than him, the conversation we had was constructive. It didn't just act as a tool, just like, oh yeah, like wasting time. Like it was a prolific interview because it taught me some stuff, and maybe it taught him some stuff, and maybe the audience who watched it, which it is still one of the best podcasts in my opinion for entertainment value.
But also, for example, a great company in Rotterdam, Heilige Boontjes.
Yes.
A current cop and a former criminal start a coffee room there, called Heilige Boontjes, selling coffee in a former police office, and then they hire people with different backgrounds to give them a chance.
Difficult backgrounds, especially. And that's the part that impressed me the most, is the fact that it's like they work so well together.
Yeah.
There's like this harmony, right?
Yeah.
You would never, like, it looks like a better bar than most others.
Yeah.
Right? A cool coffee place and a cool location with cool people. And then it's like, you don't even care about who's in front of you. And that's the best part.
And then we approached him like, do you want someone who has experience with media and want to be part of your podcast? Suddenly they just, no, he can do it as well. No experience, but he will be cool. And then
Dylan Weller?
Dylan Weller. The hentai episode.
Season 2, episode 2.
Yeah, where Cedric Van Linehurst, the hentai, you guys
just watch it.
If you didn't, you can even find it on our Instagram. It's at the Damm Slap.
Yes, Cedric, you should watch it again too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just refresh your memory. It's one of the most iconic moments. But that's enough about the Damm Slap. We're here for you.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You are, besides the fact that you have helped us through 9 months of endeavors every day, creating content, scheduling content, finding the right people, you also ensured that we were working, that there was a good atmosphere to it.
I tried to, yeah.
And that leads to a question that the team has always wanted to ask you, even in practice interviews. What is your leadership style, if you follow any? Or do you make your own style depending on the team?
Well, you have different type of leadership styles. You can be authoritative. You can be the foreman you help with, or
You can be the friendly guy.
Yeah.
Super
You
chill,
can be friendly. You could be very friendly and just ask if you want and see if the intrinsic motivation is there. What I try to do is, when I work with a team, I like to get to know who the team is, where they're from, who your parents maybe, or who's your family, what do you hold dear in life, and what's your roadmap. Everyone has a wish, a dream, a plan, a roadmap for life. It could be for the next 3 hours, it could be for the next 30 years, I don't mind, but what's your roadmap? If you see that, then I kind of find values, what are important values for you as a person in the team, and then with that set of people, um, finding the shared values, and then from a story everyone likes. It could be Cinderella, it
Yeah.
could be Avengers, it could be Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
You try to define roles and slay the dragon,
Exactly.
and just see how this adventure will pan out. Sometimes you fall, sometimes you fly, sometimes you do nothing.
Yeah.
But hopefully you'll get a job done, and we're all happy about it. And we can be angry, you can be happy, you can be frustrated, you can hella frustrated, to quote you.
Oh yeah, as I always say,
and-
hella.
Yeah, but in the end, if the project is successful or ended, you clean everything up, you sit down and have a chat, you have a good feeling because you did something. You did something you hold dear because your passion is into it, and that's what I want. And if that's the style, that's the style.
Yeah, I mean that's what I meant with like making your own style, right? Because it's like, you know, in Erasmus, for example, we study a lot of theory, right? So theorizing about everything and how to conceptualize things. But sometimes it's like the general gist, you know, the general feeling that you get from someone. If you have experience, then you know how to go about it despite the theory, right?
Yeah.
So there's like a degree of authority and friendliness and how to, you know, how to phrase it. Because that's the thing, you can know the theory, but if your verbal skills are not, you know, great, then you
Yeah.
end up coming across in a way that you didn't mean to frame. So it's like leadership, in my opinion, is like one of the hardest things to get used to, because it's like you have people who look up to you in a way, right? They look at you as like a pillar, and then there's other people who just do it as a job, so they don't really look at you as like, oh, you're that. They just see you as like you're just the director of what I do. You tell me to do dishes, I do dishes, that sort of thing, like in a
Yeah.
restaurant. But yeah, ultimately, what would you say? Would you say that the best employee is the one that is most proactive, or would you say that is the guy who just does what he's told?
It depends on the.
Oh,
task.
for example,
Yeah.
in our production, in a creative environment.
Well, if you're in a creative environment, you have. I think it's good to have an awareness of the entire system. Of course, if you want to have guidance or you want to be told what to do, the proactiveness would be tell me. If you know, like, no, I know my sound, I know my camera, I know how to host, I know how to present, I know how to edit. Don't talk to me. I know you don't know. Please show me then. And if you show something that I can even do, and that's pretty damn. I'm not experienced in camera work or that much in sound engineering. So if you show me you're on your game, let's go for it. But the proactiveness is in your role, what you want to do, and if you have an idea with it, just communicate it. And because in creative work, how we see, everyone has a vision of an episode or content, or be it social or something else, even financing something. Everyone has a vision for it, and if you don't communicate about it, if you wait until someone asks you, because it's so fast paced, people make mistakes. I always say, if I make 100 mistakes a day, it's a little. It's not that much. As long, it's not bad, but as long as I learn from it.
Exactly.
So I might overlook someone's opinion. I might go cut someone off. But if it's no, I want to say something, or please shut up. I have something to
in
say.
the heat of the moment, especially with content, it's like when for example we're recording in a location or we're doing ads, it's like what you said about the vision is very important. Like everybody has their own version of the vision.
Yeah.
But it's about coming to a consensus with every skill set. So
Yeah.
some of our employees are directors, some of our employees are like camera workers, isn't like just specifically on settings, color grading, everything, like micro content, you know, and it's like coming together to satisfy everybody seems like an insane task.
Yes.
And it is.
And then it's like, and then when you do something new,
Yeah.
plug for Kill the Culture. Watch this season. It's gonna be epic. If you look at Kill the Culture, we do something completely new. We have to find very good friends. You will see who helped out in the descriptions in the future.
Yes.
There's so much newness, and then something unexpected happened. A host breaking an arm, for instance.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, you know how they say break a leg.
Well, he broke his arm.
Yeah.
So you have to change all kinds of things around, but then rising to the table, I want to do this, you want to do that. You make it work, and of course we make mistakes, and of course maybe it's not the how you actually want to envision it, but you make it work.
Exactly.
And this is where communication is key, and you have to be fast
Exactly.
paced and want to do it. I think up until now, in our experience, what we have now with the entire team, we have it
I
today.
mean, one last thing with the production, and then we move on. But
Yes.
I wanted to say, it's like there's, in my opinion, there's a few important things when you have an organization. One of them is the goal,
Yes.
right? You have to have a shared goal. If you don't have a shared goal between employees, there's not really a point.
Yes.
So it's like it depends. Like if you want to be a sticker company, let's have that as a goal, right?
Mhm.
Or if you want to make content, you have that as a goal. But everybody has to be on the same page for it to actually work. Or else someone might say, oh yeah, but I'm not here to make content. I'm here for photography. And then it's like, well, that's content. But then no, I want to just do like aesthetics, right? And then you're like, okay, but I want to do content this way,
Yeah.
right? And it's like the goal has to be defined. We had a very clear goal from the very beginning, which
Yes.
was to run a podcast so that as many people as possible could come on and chat about their reality, their struggles, their experiences in the weirdest workplaces ever. And that's ultimately it. Like it seems it is, you know, a broader version of what it actually is because there's a lot behind the scenes, literally. But ultimately it's like I think the goal and the reliability on each other.
you want it's a good feeling when you work together when a camera breaks down, someone else gets his phone and just replace it without having to ask. When a camera breaks down, you check the cables and then you see someone just pull the plug, for instance, because the foot just
Yeah.
got stuck after
Mhm.
something. It's just you rely on each other during a heated moment where Hoy at the moment has to do camera, sound, and everything.
Yeah.
But in the same moment, in post, he will know if I do this in a different way, then someone else is helped by
Yes.
structuring it or cutting it or doing whatever to make it easier for the other. And if you rely on each other that the other will do it, and it actually works out, how cool is that?
Yeah.
Because that means that you'll be doing the extra bit as well. Therefore, the entire project gets better.
Exactly. I mean, for example, a good example I always tell people is the timestamps.
Yes.
Like as minimal as that sounds, like it's just writing down the timestamps of something that happened, right?
Yeah.
But the editor, that's like literally that's a dream for an editor. Getting the timestamps of what happened, when it happened, getting it clear. You get that. You have the highlight, and it's like their whole job becomes like 1,000 times easier.
Exactly.
Right. Well, does your mic work?
I think it's working.
Nice.
Yeah,
What's your like what do you expect interreliability between employees, or do you just carry the whole thing?
Oh, I would love that.
You
Yeah.
would love that. It's not there yet.
I would love that. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, no.
our core team is broadening at the moment. Like, but I mean, as a whole, we have many people involved,
Yeah, it's
more
not
than
big
20
one.
at the
Yeah.
moment. So I mean, it's hard to run this stuff. But that's why organizations are goal-oriented, having reliability between people, having that confidence.
It's like you said, I did IBA in the beginning, right?
Mhm.
And then in business, a vision, a mission, goals, planning, executing on it, thinking about it, thinking logically about it. Use your book smarts, use your street smarts, use your energy. If you don't have the energy, communicate. If you can't communicate, write it down. If the basics, the bare basics, are difficult enough. It's simple, but it's not always that simple to execute on.
Exactly.
And if you start with that, then who knows what happened? That's the adventure we all embark on when you do
Exactly.
a project.
A new adventure. Well, talking about new adventures. Right after you worked at Microsoft.
Yes.
Spoiler for everybody. Oh, he worked at Microsoft.
Yes, I did.
Yes, he did work at Microsoft. But after that, you had an accident. right?
Yes, I actually had. It was changed my life actually, and for the better. Not saying Microsoft's bad, just for my personal self, it changed for the better. So, you want me to talk about it?
Well, if you would want to,
Yeah,
I'm
of
always
course.
willing to listen.
So yeah, I had good news at Microsoft. maybe new job position was opening up. Really, really, really good step for me. I was really stoked about it. So from Schiphol, where the office is, I drove home. And at a certain moment, at Kralingse Zoom, people were, it was very busy. Everyone was driving 100, maybe more. You never know. But and that particular time, I already see that a traffic jam could come up if you pay attention to the road. So I kept more distance as usual before taking the exit and actually almost arriving home. Someone took that space to just cut me off,
Yeah,
or
just cut you off, yeah.
cut me off, put on the brakes because the traffic jam was coming up, and I didn't have any brake room anymore. So I had to make a decision: either hit the car or try to evade. Well, I tried to evade, but I hit the guardrail and woke up in the hospital. Because of adrenaline and everything, for 24 hours it seemed kind of okay. I was out of it. I was groggy. I was of
They
course.
probably gave you a lot of.
I don't know what I got, but I was
Painkillers and
I was still there. But at a couple of days or 24 hours or just I managed. I stayed over the hospital. I was out of it for a while. I got up from. I woke up. Apparently, I tried to work for a day.
Wow.
But when
What?
I couldn't function at all, and then my body shut down. So I slept for over 20 hours a day. My brain was hurt, my neck was hurt, my spine was hurt,
Were any of your limbs like?
I like tingly feeling. So there was damage, like tingly.
Like I broke my arm.
Yeah.
Several times over, literally both my arms several times, and I can tell you like when something is not right, you can feel it like immediately.
I don't know if this is the exact expression in English, but in neurology they talked about the broken cup syndrome. So you hold a cup, but you think you're holding it, but you relax it, and the cup falls from your hands. There's the connection there. There's something wrong there.
Okay.
Shouldn't be broken, but
It's not broken, but it's like
just
an internal thing. That's what
it's if you want to talk to ask a physician, ask a doctor to if you want more information on that. I'm not the expert, I'm just experienced.
But do report back if you find out something interesting. Write it down in the comments.
Yeah, in the comments below.
Yeah.
But then what happened in my brain did this when I did this basically. So concussion, but more than a concussion, I had TBI, traumatic brain injury, a mild or heavy form of it, I don't know.
Let's hope mild.
Yeah, well, if it's severe, then you get internal bleeding and a lot of things. That didn't really happen, but I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk. I had to sleep 20 hours a day. No TV, no lights. So imagine me.
This artificial stuff irritates the.
Yeah, just too much. So I was sitting down with a headphone, glasses, and a scarf or a hat inside, just because everything was too much. And then sleeping 20 hours a day, showering, showering, eating takes you 2 hours, and for 2 hours a day, just sit down like this.
But did that drain you? Like after you were done, you were so tired.
Yeah,
you fell back asleep.
You fell back asleep. But also, like a strange thing for me and for everyone is different because the brain is a complex thing. But for me, complicated food was too much. Too much spice, too much flavors. I would go crazy because my brain couldn't handle it.
But would it like annoy you in that sense? Like whilst you take the bite, you can immediately taste everything, and you're like.
Yeah, exactly. So my brain hurts like. My brain hurts. Just immediately, I could compare it to a migraine. I think.
Like a severe, constant.
migraine. Just overwhelmed in every sense. So pasta with cheese was the best I could eat.
That's what Italians are for.
So that's the best I could eat. Or just bread with butter.
Okay.
And that's it.
But when was the first time you opened the blinds? Something like that. Like something that seems like a small step, but when you start new like that.
I think after half a year, I was just fed up with it, and I just went a day without, and then I went to the doctor and said, I cannot do this. I think it was something like that. I cannot do this. I discovered if I drink Red Bull and eat Snickers or Mars or any other chocolate or Tony Chocolonely or like whatever.
Whatever you want.
Yeah. So if I would eat a snack, the fast sugars and the caffeine and everything would keep me awake for 1 more hour, and I could actually talk for an hour a day.
Okay.
So I gained 30
That's the
kilos.
first time that like Red Bull is mentioned in any medical procedure.
Yeah, well, it's just
For each their own, you know what I mean?
But the thing is, the caffeine and sugars, everything is it invigorated me,
Yeah.
but you take a loan on your energy.
Yeah.
So you use it, but then the crash afterwards comes down even harder, so hurting you more. But if your best case scenario is sitting on a couch, do nothing, you cannot talk. You have to talk like in words and instead of sentences, or you have to grunt or use your hands to point at something to communicate. And suddenly you can say 2 sentences or 3 sentences a day.
That's a massive
That's
improvement.
a coffee, Red Bull, sugars.
Whatever got you
Yeah.
to wake up.
And then at a certain moment, of course, I know it's bad. Everyone knows those are bad. Don't do Red Bull when you're.
I mean, look, if you're watching this podcast and you think Red Bull is healthy,
don't no.
search it up.
It helps for certain moments and
Like the night before an exam, shut down 2 Red Bulls, you're gonna be like this the whole night, but maybe you're gonna pass it. That's student knowledge.
Yeah.
Despite this increases moderate and occasional intake of Red Bull is unlikely to cause serious health problems in healthy adults. Still, excess intake, particularly in younger people, has been linked to abnormal heart rhythm, heart attack, and even death.
Okay, we're gonna die.
So thank you, Goy.
Yes, thank you, Goy.
Yeah.
As always.
Yeah. So well, to keep long story short, it took me 4 years to get back to a level I would seem acceptable.
Was it like a gradual improvement, or were there days where like you made that?
Yeah, no, there were both actually, but it's a gradual thing. But you said the one thing that's important is to celebrate your wins. So I used the social media platform to write answers to questions, and the first time I couldn't for the love of my life write a sentence in Dutch or English. But I started to write answer questions in English and then afterwards in Dutch. 2 sentences would take me 4 hours, but after answering the question, I felt really good. So I spent 2 hours a day just typing answers, and then that helped me to get back the level of language I wanted to have. And then
I always had this question though.
Yeah.
Like, because I thought of it as like how a child learns things,
Yes.
right? So it's like you get burned by fire, you won't touch the fire anymore, right? The most bare example I can think of. But for you, was it like you did something and then it kind of re-unlocked? Like it was like, oh, I did this before, I can do it.
Yeah, it's
Like that sort of thing, or was it a new, like a new experience every time?
Both. Again, what happens is when how I understand the medical situation I was in is your brain makes neural paths as you grow up.
Yeah.
There are the connections you make in your brain to make things work. You learn stuff.
The deeper the connection, the better.
Yeah. So and then that path in your brain from 1 to B is a superhighway. It's like the neuron goes back and forth to exchange information. So when you learn something, you make a new connection, and the younger you are, easier to make the connection because the neuroplasticity is really good.
Plasticity, that's a new plasticity, right?
Plasticity.
But so what happened with me is that with brain injury is a lot of those paths break down.
Yeah.
So a lot of things I learned were gone. And then when you have an accident, like after an accident, if you go into rehab as soon as possible, if the doctor says it's okay again, then you can reconnect. Unfortunately, I had a misdiagnose and said that take a rest for a couple of weeks. You have a headache, you have a minor concussion. Take a rest for a couple of weeks, maybe a month, and you'll be fine. What's the worst advice I could get because of a misread on the doctor? Well, So instead of 8 months getting to speed, it took me more than 4 years to get to that speed because if everything settles down, yeah, it becomes more difficult to learn. So yes, to answer your question, this framing gives you answer your question. Yes, sometimes I didn't know what a specific thing was, or so I had to ask questions like a child. Really funny example, or tragic example. See as you see it. So after a couple of years, I could walk again, I could talk again, I could run, I could do sports. Went to the gym, like the basic functions and my reasoning seemed to be okay. So in rehab and everything seems okay. I was ready for the world.
Mm-hmm.
But then, what's the extent I can push myself? Is
Per
it
day? Like
yeah?
a daily
No, in general, yeah,
okay.
in general. So, am I? I used to work in a high-paced IT and marketing company with sales and
Yeah.
different demographics, different teams. So there's a lot of information exchanged, a lot of different forces, cultures, and everything at play to make something work. Well, can I still do that? Or, with all due respect, man, for the job, am I? Is the max I can do doing the dishes in the restaurant?
Yeah, I mean it is a respectable
Yeah.
job, but from like the juxtaposition is going from 100 to 0
Yeah.
back to 100.
Yeah.
That means you went to 100 twice.
Yeah.
That's the that's the harsh part for things is that like it doesn't cancel out. You already did it, right? You already did it. But it's like a next question would be, is there something that you could do before that you can't do now?
Yes, IT.
So IT like is
Yeah.
it like the
So
technicalities
yeah,
of
the
it?
tech. So
Programming.
like say I was an acquired IT guy. So I wasn't formally educated as a programmer
Mhm.
or as a database engineer or
Data analyst,
yeah,
whatever.
or in cloud computing, or
Mhm.
but because I worked with different sets of clients and saw different propositions, I studied it, and at a certain moment I got my way at least to know the basics and a bit more depending on the case I was working on, and so I knew what to do. I could do some Python, I could do some HTML, I could do some database scripting.
That's massively impressive. I mean, I struggle with Python and stuff like to this day. You know what I mean? Like,
It's gone now.
no, but still,
Yeah.
like that's what I mean. Even so, back then you were learning, you were
Yeah.
a progressive learner. Like you were very
Yeah. So what if I see something 3, 4, 5 times and I hear specialists talk about it, always make mental notes, write it down, look it up, either in public or non-public resources. If I work at Microsoft, I have like enough resources to go through to learn. So I do that, spend 2 hours a day, and then the next time I enter a conversation, I could cover the basics, and then the in-depth knowledge comes to play, or the discussion comes into a moment that you can talk about these different instances where the bases are covered. So that's how I learned. But for today, or till like very recently, I couldn't do it. If I open the cloud portal, Azure Cloud for me because I work at Microsoft.
Yeah.
And let's not call other. I didn't work with
Yeah,
other
exactly,
platforms, so I didn't know what to do. But then to come back to your questions, things suddenly returning until a specific time a couple of weeks ago, I sat down on the couch, and for my feeling, I don't know if it's scientific or what, I felt a bang in my head,
Ooh.
and then 2 hours later, I got like 20-30% of that knowledge back.
Oh, that software update.
Yeah,
Yeah, it hit
So-
different.
So I don't know. Again, this is I don't know. I didn't talk with a neurologist about it. I didn't talk with a specialist about it. But is it a mental blockage? Is it something else? Is it confidence? Is it reconnecting a set of neural paths that gave me knowledge back? I don't know. There are several ways to go about it. If you have theories about it, put it in the description.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
read up to it. I'll ask a specialist. Please help. I would be very glad to do so.
Yep.
But yeah, these are things that I improve still over time. But when I started, we're in 2021 now, so 2019, start of 2019, I gave myself a year to do internships with companies I worked with or I consulted in the past. So the weirdest thing is, okay, can you make a phone call and ask basic sales questions and annotate things down? I couldn't do it.
Well, to be honest, it sounds like an easy task until you realize it's not.
So but I was struggling. But then the two directors of two global companies came down for giving this startup a chance, and then I enter into a conversation with them, and the most strategic level of thinking, easiest thing ever. Easiest thing ever. Not saying that my theories maybe they indulged me, but I understood what they were saying, and I was able to provide some insights or points in the argument or in the conversation that actually made them think and made me participate more in the conversation. So this weird position that I don't know the basics, but I know the strategy, or the other way around, I know how to cut an onion, but what to do with it afterwards? What is it the herb? Is it the spice? Is it the main ingredient? You put just. I didn't understand what it was afterwards. So these things I relearned or unblocked, or my fear of anything got lost. I don't know what exact thing is. During rehab, I had tons of help from the rehabilitation center, from psychology to neurology to physiotherapy to different kind of things.
Your whole body is affected.
Yeah, so these things all are interconnected according to the rehab center, and I got stuff back. But in a certain moment, you can do so much rehab, you have to reintegrate into society, and then you see where your limits are. And then, fortunately, I didn't hit my limit yet. Fortunately, I'm better than I was before. I have a new outtake on life, and I'm doing really well.
And that leads me to the next question. I mean, I've heard it from a lot of people who went through, what's it called, like a near-death experience, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people tend to say that they have a new outlook on life, but a lot of people take that as, you worship life a lot more now. Is that the case for you?
I'm thankful.
To have survived or to be living now?
This is, when I tell this, and you'll hear this story again, there's something, what happened before I get into the crash. There's a moment that lasts a lifetime, but is really short as well. But my life didn't flash.
So you didn't have
I didn't have the flashback in life. I didn't see the loved ones in my mind's eye. I didn't think like, I'm thankful for this. No, the last thought I would have if I wouldn't survive this situation is, I'm not getting back for dinner.
Yes, sorry, I'm letting the thing settle down. Okay. Yes,
it hits pretty hard.
Yeah, that hits hard.
So when I was in Belgium, like it was my second month in Belgium, I was like extremely sick for like a month. It was horrible. So at one point, I think my temperature was like 42.
Oh my god.
That's lethal.
Yeah, and like I don't know why, but like I chose not to go to the doctor or take any medicines because like I had a bag of medicines from Vietnam, but I didn't know what to take.
Mm-hmm.
And besides that, I didn't want to tell my parents that I was fucking sick.
Hey mom, I'm dying.
Yeah,
like that's not something.
Yeah,
that's not a
exactly.
phone call you want.
No, you don't want
exactly.
to talk about that.
So like I just passed out on one particular day.
Hmm.
I just passed out of nowhere. I was like laying on my bed, and then like everything in front of my eyes just blurred out, and that was it. I didn't see any loved ones. I didn't see anything.
No?
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. You actually since you had a fever.
Yeah, I was just there like all alone.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then making it back and everything works. Right, I can walk and get back. I've seen people who cannot talk anymore. I see people stuck to a wheelchair because of this, or our arm doesn't work anymore, or Yes.
Don't talk about arms like that, man. Not like
I'm
this.
sorry. I'm sorry. But I have everything intact. I'm very lucky
Mhm.
with that. But when you're, when I was sitting in this world, basically, we're here right now. I couldn't participate from I couldn't see it. What happened? So the entire world is kind of a soap opera.
Yeah, it's like a TV show.
Yeah, it's a
basically, in
TV.
front of
Yeah,
you.
like a TV show playing in front of you. So you see everything, and then I could pick and choose if I had the energy to jump right in and say something and go back. But what made me realize is that I could have been dead. But I'm still alive. So every day is a gift.
Yes.
Kung Fu Panda. That's why we call
That
it
is one of the
present.
that's why we call it present.
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
Oh.
but it's really cheesy. But for me,
It's a fact.
if the sun is shining today, I'm sitting with you. I can help someone to get one step further. That's it for me. That's it. It's a gift. If I have a good bite of food, if I can I can say whatever I want. I and I can handle every situation. I'm still alive.
And that is being alive, because that's ultimately the difference I always make to people. Is like some people, for example, in movies, you see someone being paralyzed for life and they're like, thank God you're alive. And it's like, to that person, they might not be capable of telling you, but they
Yeah.
some of them might want to be dead. You get me? Like,
Yeah.
some of them don't want to see their relatives looking at them and pity the entirety of their life.
I due to private reasons, I won't say her name, but the
Mhm.
one who's dear to me, she helped me for 5 years.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah,
Like, alone, it would have
but
been a completely
No,
different
it's
journey.
support is so important, but support of the support is important. She was there for me 24/7, but then paying attention to my, like, before I was tired, she would see I was tired because otherwise I would get a seizure or
Mhm.
something
Yeah,
else.
something serious. Yeah.
So yeah, being on 24/7 call, paying attention takes a toll. So helping her for a bit, or for me going to my parents or to a friend to sit there for a weekend and play games, video games, would help her as well.
Yeah.
So support is important, but the support of the friends of the one supporting the one in need are just as important.
Yes.
So if anything, if you have a friend who is really ill and their spouse, friend, or family is taking care of it, make sure that the ones taking care of the one who's ill or temporarily permanently gets treated well as well. Because if they're re-energized and they're happy with it, the ones being helped, the ones in need, will be helped 100 times better. So if anything, I hope everything is healthy with you, with everyone who's watching.
Yes.
But help the ones who's helping the one in need, because that support is maybe even more important.
I mean, to that I have, like, not a personal story, but rather, I mean, when my grandma passed away, you know, my grandpa was very reliant on her emotionally, you know, in
Yeah.
general, right? So, like, that took a huge toll on him, and my aunt decided to take care of him at full, right? The problem is that she didn't have enough time to do anything.
Yeah.
She just had to support him continuously, and it's like, once someone reaches that age of 80, 85, you know, it's like they become more and more reliant on you. And like, it takes a toll on a human being. Like, she has children, she has a lot of stuff, she has her own life, right? But also she has to take care on a daily basis of her father, right? And it's like, as a child, I wouldn't really see. I would feel pity for my grandpa, you know, just be like, oh, he's alone, all that. But then I realized he's not alone, because he has people like my aunt who are devoting their lives to sustaining his.
Yeah.
Not economically, but just emotionally.
Yeah.
That exchange, or else my grandpa wouldn't be here. Like, I'm on a serious note. I mean, when you're lacking the emotional connection that you have sustained for forever,
Yeah.
that kills a person.
Yeah.
Like, you see it with like 80+ marriages. Like, as soon as someone dies, the other one immediately perishes, because it's like that heartbreak that you get, the immense
Yeah,
pain.
it's too much. But then, if if anyone again at home, I'm talking about people directly today.
Oh, like I bet they like it. I
Yeah.
never talk to them directly.
No, but then making that one lunch or making a dinner as your cousin or as a friend, just that, and then gives them enough energy to last 2 years.
Yeah, you know what? Like anyone watching, how about you? How about you cook tonight for your relatives or for anyone, for your roomie? If
Yes.
you're alone, how about you cook for yourself and then you
Yes.
send us a photo? Not for traction, just saying. Like in general, do it. Like it makes people feel better. Like when I cooked, for example, for you, it was 6 months ago, I think, and
Yeah.
we had our first lunch, and we were drained after recording. We were scheduling a lot of stuff, and then I was like, "Have you guys eaten like my cooking?" And you were like, "No." And so I cooked. And
Yeah.
sharing that meal with like the members of the staff made me appreciate it 20 times more. It would have been a normal lunch for me just doing my own stuff.
Yeah, but then that's why like together, and that's why you have a community. You rely on each other. That's how you build character. You build
Yes.
team. You build. You come closer together. Be it friends, family, or co-workers, or team members of a student team when you're doing an assignment or your thesis or whatever. It helps.
Exactly.
And in special times, okay, make sure 1.5 meters, make sure everything's
Yes.
okay. If you have your vaccine, good on you. Maybe deliver some food to people who have to keep distance. There's so many creative ways to go about
Yeah.
this.
If there's will, there's a way.
Yes, always.
That's always the one. Like if there's any big piece of advice you would want to give to the audience, not that you haven't done it so far because I think there's a lot, but if there's one piece of mind that you would want to share.
That's a good question.
Yeah, right. I always ask now.
Yes, you always ask the question, but it's different when you're being asked on camera.
Right?
That's,
It's different
kinda
being
different.
behind the camera than being in
Yeah,
front. Right?
exactly. It is. No, if I would want to give one advice, is just pay attention to your community where you are. That's actually what I would want to give. Again, from the one dear to me, she taught me the last couple of years. It takes a village to raise a child. So in that, it takes everyone to sustain a community. If it's your roommates, if it's your group of friends, is it your family, even in distance, order the takeaway just as a surprise. It's like and then go do a Zoom food meeting.
Yeah.
Why not? Or
Yeah.
Teams, or Google Meet, or something else.
I mean, you can order groceries for other people as well.
Yeah.
Funnily enough.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or like we did today, bring chicken nuggets.
Exactly. Bring nuggets. That brings people together.
Yes.
But as I always do, I like to ask people about random questions at the end of the podcast.
Yes.
If you're willing.
Of course.
So one of the questions is always, if you had a place to travel to, which one would it be?
Sun Dong Cave in Vietnam.
Oh, I never received. You guys saw it
Um,
first. This is the fastest response.
Sun Dong.
Sun Dong Cave. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well done. You pronounce it perfectly.
Wait, say it again.
Sun Dong.
Sun Dong.
I'm not even gonna try out.
It's one of
Sun Dong.
the deepest caves in the world.
It's the deepest.
Yeah, the deepest
Oh,
cave in the
you
world.
showed me that. It's
Yeah.
insane.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
I want to go there.
But don't fall in.
No, but we'll see how it will go. But I want to go there. Yeah.
That's pretty epic.
Yeah.
That's pretty epic. Anywhere else?
I want to see Rome. I want to see Rome, and then the locals Rome, not the tourist Rome. So,
When in Rome, do what the Romans do.
so I hope you want to be my guide.
I mean, we're going through the entirety. I mean, last podcast, if you guys didn't see it, we're going to Romania.
Yeah,
Next podcast, we're going to Vietnam. And then now we're going to Rome.
yeah,
Hey, but technically, I mean, I'm just saying it now, but like, you guys will see it when it
Yeah.
happen.
yeah. We'll see.
I'm
Yeah,
just
but yeah,
saying.
I want to go to Rome. I
It
want.
happens anyway.
That's the thing. What's culture? What's the local experience of
Exactly.
Rome? One of the, yeah.
Caput Mundi.
Yeah, Caput Mundi. So why not? I want to see it.
That's epic. Another question. What, if you had to choose a meal you have to eat for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Salto.
He just has all the answers.
Wow.
We're prepping for this podcast for the
no,
last
yeah. The
6
thing
years.
is, salto is a Suriname soup. Maybe you could say the Suriname noodles. Maybe something like you have broth, you have chicken or something tofu.
So it's like a
whatever.
versatile food.
Yeah, it's
Everything
versatile
with-
food. You have fried noodles. You have you put everything in. For me, it's just the best. With the spices, with the right amount of seasoning, it's just better. I can eat that the rest of my life. You'll be happy.
And last but not least, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Alive. I'll be alive.
There you go. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Well, first of all, I don't want to jinx. I never want to jinx shit like this, but like, I mean, we have too many projects, Shai.
Yes.
We have too many projects.
Yes.
I mean, as of now, actually, a very important project that I would want to talk about is your LinkedIn. If you would want to indulge the audience with this, because it's a video that members of the staff are working on. It's very professional stuff, but I mean for the audience, because I enjoy watching the process of all this stuff, and I bet a lot of people do as well.
Yeah. So what I can say is that I recently left the company I was working for. Actually, this is yesterday was my last day. One of the presents I got is a trip. What I have on is a tribute to one of my coworkers.
And this one, in case
You can also take it down.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's
I'll
not
do that
frame.
once you explain. Go
It's
on.
not in
Yeah.
frame. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I got this. I got this from my coworker Lisa, and yeah, as a goodbye gift. But what she did there, I did for Proxys. That's what I worked for. I worked for them, and when going away can be a sad thing or frustrating thing, or can be thank you for being here and goodbye.
Yeah.
I want to do something else, and in June somewhere on LinkedIn I'll show you everything I did as a thank you for the company I worked for. So yeah, I don't have other socials, so check LinkedIn and
the link
go
is
there.
definitely here on top of this.
Yeah,
just
probably
here.
here. Yeah.
And would you want to mention anything about Kill the Culture?
Again, Kill the Culture is a project that's actually crazy.
Yeah, we
So-
actually managed to make it work though.
Yeah, maybe you've seen it on Instagram, maybe not. It started with a meme, and that hurt the video quite a lot.
Wait, what was the meme?
The meme.
Oh
Yes.
yeah! Oh my god! Okay,
Yeah.
all I have to say is someone was like, "Hey, actually they came to me.
Yes.
I cooked for them.
Yes.
I put my heart and soul into this spaghetti like basic ass, and then this guy picks up scissors and cuts my spaghetti
Yeah.
as he's eating it. I was like, dude, are you okay? Like my heart just dropped. Like if my
Yes.
family in Italy saw this, I would lose my national card. Like
Yeah.
what are we talking about?
So, Kill the Culture is a double entendre. That when you do something that goes against a food culture, it hurts physically. So when I say to the video that I would do pineapple on my pizza,
Yes.
I'm not welcome anymore.
Well,
So-
no, look, I mean, to each their own. But if I cook it, you won't be seeing pineapples anywhere.
Well, see, it hurts. As you
As
can
a
see.
dessert,
Yeah.
it's like in the fruit salad. Yeah, sure, you can have them.
That's why we got you pineapples for your breakings.
Yeah, you got me.
Yeah.
Oh
For
yeah.
our occasion. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
You guys are jokesters.
Yeah.
Yes, you're very funny.
Yeah. So yeah, that hurts. But every food culture has some things, some rules you don't do. You don't eat roti, which is Suriname pan with knife and fork. No,
Exactly.
you don't. So that hurts if you
But-
do it. But
We do respect the culture as well.
yes, so that's the double entendre. So then maybe you've seen Instagram memes like, "Oh, this hurts," but Kill the Culture is derived from you. Yeah, actually, you should see the episode. Of what
Yeah, it's definitely. It's probably gonna be uploaded in the. If this episode is uploaded before, stay tuned because they're very interlinked. But the main structure is professional chef.
Yes, against the student. So, one recipe, a professional and a student. So, it can be done. A student can make a professional recipe at home. How the students fare against the chef, I think they have to check.
Yeah,
it out.
just watch it because to be honest, the outcomes did surprise me as well. Like unfortunately, this thing prevented me from hosting it, but our friend and co-worker Lucy.
You've seen her. If you didn't see her in a prior episode, just watch her. Lucy is the presenter of
Lucy
Yes.
in the
Sky
sky.
with Damm slap. Ba-da-ba-dam. Okay. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you for being always the greatest and for supporting this production from day one. Thank you for that.
Thank you for being the host.
Yes.
And thank you, Goy, to manage every camera and sound up till now, together with the bigger team now. But thank you.
And ultimately, they'll be seeing more of you.
Yes, in the future there will be new projects. But watch the LinkedIn story. You'll see what I'm doing, and
Trust.
who knows? Maybe I'll do more on social media.
And with that, to more dope podcasts.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Have a nice day.